How did geography and location help develop the faith? Well, starting with Judaism, they valued the land of Israel, which was the promised land, and it was a covenant with Abraham that they could have the land. And it drew people to that land and also started the trend of valuing land. Moving on to Christianity, Paul, the evangelist, was able to help spread the Christian faith through the roads of Rome. Overall, trade routes meant people could trade goods as well as ideas like the Christian faith. Moving on to Islam. The Islamic cities like Baghdad and Cordoba became very developed and well advanced and were great centers for learning. This overall contributed to the identity by enforcing the aspect of Islam and about gaining knowledge in this life. All the Eastern faiths started in India, which had a very diverse geography. Although they all originated around the same place, they have different backstories. In Hinduism, the people considered them as goddesses, and they symbolize purity. They were considered essential to life, and basically all the ancient civilizations were centered around a river. Examples: the Indus River Society on the Indus River. Moving on to Buddhism. Buddhism was developed through geography through the help of the Silk Road throughout Asia. People took these ideas with them as they traded, and others were very accepting and liked the non-materialistic, compassionate, enlightened values. Moving on to Jainism and Sikhism. They were influenced by geography in a slightly different way. Although the actual features of the land didn't have much impact, these religions built off of ideas from the other religions in the Indian area, such as the cyclical view of life, reincarnation, the idea of non-attachment, and karma. The Western faiths all believe in ethical monotheism, belief in one God and a moral responsibility to do good, and how God is just. They also all value their land and laws. Starting with Judaism, their value of land and laws stems from the covenants they believe God made with Abraham and Moses. Abraham, they would inherit the promised land, Israel, the land of Canaan. Moses, they would be blessed and protected if they kept the 10 Commandments. They believe in one God. They have religious items such as the Torah, the Ark, the 10 Commandments, etc. But the Torah was the only religious item they had left after being under Babylonian captivity. So the Torah is very sacred because it has everything in their history, such as the 10 Commandments and many more religious texts. Moving on to Christianity. Christians only believed in one God, and they also have a religious text called the Bible, which has pieces of wisdom from Jesus helping them to live an ethical life, following ethical monotheism. They also value the land of Jerusalem, where Jesus was crucified, and considered it a holy land, and followed the 10 Commandments given to Moses. Moving on to Islam. They valued the Quran, which was the religious text that had two main themes: strict monotheism and caring for the less fortunate. They also valued the five pillars, which are the Shahada, Salat, Swam, Zakat, and the Hajj. They valued the land of Mecca, which was their promised land that they valued. A recap for all the Western faiths are all common in the way that they value a holy land, which has influenced our culture today in that how we buy, sell, own, fight over, and inherit land. Moving on to the Eastern faiths, we have Hinduism. The people who believe in Hinduism believe in many themes such as moksha, samsara, a ceaseless cycle, dilemma due to karma, which is action, reincarnation, rebirth, and dharma, a life of moral action and social responsibility. They also have three main religious texts called the Vedas, the Upanishads, and the Bhagavad Gita. There is also a caste system within Hinduism, which is called the Varna system. The roles are Brahmins, warriors and nobles, peasants and tradesmen, laborers and craftsmen, and the untouchables. You are born into your position in the caste system. Water is also very important in this religion because it represents purity and is personified as a goddess. Moving on to Buddhism, they believe in the Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, who is said to be the enlightened one. They also believe in many themes such as the Great Renunciation, the endless cycle of mortal existence, the middle way, which is balance, the Four Noble Truths, all life is suffering, the source of suffering is desire, ending desire is the way to end suffering, and the path to this end is eightfold. Compassion, which is the cardinal virtue, and nirvana, which is extinguishing karmic bondage similar to moksha. There are also specific people called bodhisattvas who have attained enlightenment, but withholds nirvana until they are released from suffering. Moving on to Jainism. It is a religion that has similar aspects from Hinduism and Buddhism. Like Hinduism, it values the law of karma, and it values the idea of moksha. Like Buddhism, it has no gods, no priests, and no caste system. It also has a few philosophies that Jains utilize: ahimsa, anekantavada, satyagraha, asteya, brahmagraha, and aparigraha. Jainism is considered the most peaceful religion. Moving on to Sikhism. This religion has similar aspects to Hinduism and Islam. Like Hinduism, they value oneness in God, karma, connection of the universe, release from this life, reincarnation, and looking inward to find the truth. Like Islam, they pray 2 to 3 times a day, and there's one God. They value service to God, service to others, equality, and there is no caste system. Because of these aspects, many people say that Sikhism may have originated from Islam. Some of their practices / values are living a secular life, give service to others, justice, equality of men and women, getting married, no conversion, and music, which is a key part in the faith. Recapping all of the Eastern religions, they originated from the land of India. Because of this, all of these religions share similar identities, like their belief in karma, a cyclical life, and a responsibility to do good. All of these faiths hold different values. Western faiths worship God, while Eastern faiths worship many to no gods. However, they all consider certain aspects of life very important. The main similarity between all of these faiths is the idea of striving to live a good life. Western faiths are motivated to do this through ethical monotheism, worshiping one God, and having a moral responsibility to do good. Eastern faiths also feel the responsibility to do good, which is motivated by their belief in karma and the reincarnation, that what they do in this life will affect them in the next. All of these faiths take this as a responsibility to do good to other people and put into practice in several ways. For example, Christians believe in helping others and bringing them the gospel by being evangelists, and Jains believe in doing no harm to anything, to the point that they eat a vegan diet, so as not to take anything from the animals.